This is Drummore on Luce Bay, Tope capital of Scotland.
And this is On Your Marks, one of 3 skippered Orkney strikeliners specialising in tope and pollock fishing in Luce Bay and around the Mull of Galloway. From late summer through into autumn, big female tope ranging between 60 and 80 pounds will be the main target fish, with the boats operating out from Port Logan. But early summer, the clean ground to the northeast of the Scars out in the middle of the bay is the place to be for big numbers of packed tope in the 20 to 50 pound bracket. Ian's party for this trip is the Essex Boys, Dave Hawkswood and Paul Maris, 2 anglers with an enviable record aboard On Your Marks with the tope, and with big common skate when Ian takes the operation up to Loch Halleen for a month around Easter time each year. But first things first, half an hour spent filling the bait box with fresh mackerel is vital to the success of the trip.
Just going to show 2 baits that we normally use. One of them's the flapper, which is a traditional conger bait. We use this when there's a lot of dogfish about. Unfortunately, if there's a lot of doggies about, then they work their way up the hook and just chew it. So you cut through either side and take the backbone out. And sometimes, depends how it's gone, sometimes we'll shorten it, so it's a shorter flapper. And the other bait, my favourite bait, is what we call a head and shoulders. You're cutting it somewhere around the middle of the fin, and it's straight through. The idea of that on the bottom is that it's too big for a dogfish to get hold of. They might mess around with it, play with it, but if a tope comes along, they'll soon move aside. I like to fish a trace that's actually longer than the longest potential tope. So we tend to fish about 6 foot, 7 foot trace, and that's made up of a 6/0 hook, usually with a barb crushed, the short length of wire, I mean that happens to be 150, and then about 6 inches, 9 inches, and that's to protect the line from the teeth, and then a heavy mono, which actually is really meant for my hands, because if you're grabbing a lot of tope at the side of the boat on 80 pound mono, you can end up with the hands seriously sore and cut. So we use a heavy mono for my benefit. So that's ready to go.
How was that, sir?
Yep.
Fine, mate. Right, here we go.
Yep.
On 6, 2, 3. Right, stop. If it moves at all now, as soon as it moves. You got him? Well done. We have contact. Yeah, the fish are involved in the breeding cycle at the moment, which can make them a little lethargic with the take of the baits. So we've found yesterday we had to do a lot of work in the baits. Once we'd had the initial bite, actually a bit of fast movement, either dropping back or winding back, encourage the fish to take it.
Ben's lovely, isn't it? Hey?
That's what you want, a bit of sport.
Look at that. Here she goes.
The rod he's using was designed as a pollock rod, but as the years go by we just fish lighter and lighter for the tope, and it probably equates to about a 6 pound class boat rod. But it handles them. It's had a fish over 80 pound that rod.
When necessary, passing the other rods either over or under the rod in action makes it possible to keep all the baits in the water without too much risk of tangles while a fish is being played.
See, that's perfectly hooked in the scissors. And if David would like to unclip that trace there. It is important you bring the fish up level, because tope don't have a rib cage, and if they're dragged up backwards then it can actually rupture And the hemorrhage, and although they swim back very happily, they die a couple of days later. So we just like that's a bit of tagging box time. It's bottom box there. Placing the towel over the heads and quieten them down. Caused a bit of a problem. That will sit there quite happily there now. Place that inside the fish there. It doesn't hurt it. And that's located. That's it. So that's number 4642. He's starting to come now. This allows the oxygen to go through the gills.
Hush! These are the sort of bites we were getting yesterday, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're there, they're just mouthing it, short runs, and dropping it. He's on there, at least the fish is on there.
Right, why not back to the south? A little bit of movement.
We are sailing. I think tope fishing with the right tackle, and that's light tackle, sort of 12 to 20 pound range, is just probably as good a fishing as you can get round the British Isles. It's fantastic sport, they're powerful fish, and we're taking fish in the range of something between 20 and 40 pound, and as I say, on light gear, it's great fun, really is great sport, and that's what it's all about. I think a lot of people spoil the tope fishing by overfishing for them with heavy gear, and that takes the fun out of it really. Just basically all you're doing is dragging the fish in, but now these things, they can beat you up on light tackle, and it's good.
With the tope bit of predatory fish, they're more liable to take a moving bait. So sometimes if you miss a bite, by a lot of rapid movement, you can actually force the fish to follow you in. Lovely hook from the fish, so we'll get the T-bar.
T-bar, outside the box here.
No, wrong one.
Yeah, that side. Leave the box down the side of the wheel. Just on top there.
Getting the bar and the hook, turning the fish, and you use the weight of the fish to pull the bait out.
Oh yes! A double whammy.
Double.
There's one of them. There's two of them. We'll spot them up to left.
Nice fish.
We're
We're never going to get two in the boat, are we?
There you go.
Okay, I'll just go back in there. That's it. Little tiny fiddly thing. I'll tell you what is a pleasing thing, it's worth noting when you do the reports though, is it will have 23 fish and there's been one, 24, one that wasn't lip hooked. Hold on, mate.
Oh! So how many people's into fish?
Not sure yet about this one.
No, we're connected, mate. I think you might be under. Try under. No, try over. No, try over. That's it. Oh, you're not filming all this, Phil. Here's a fish, that's
Right, what happened to this one?
That looks a nice one.
There's two tope and a huss. A doggy.
No wonder it's That's the way to do it.
This isn't how it's supposed to happen, but it does demonstrate there's quite a few fish in Luce Bay. That one's a beauty.
The final tally for the day was 28 fish to the boat and released, but it could so easily have been twice or even 3 times that number had the tope been more interested in feeding than breeding. A few weeks on, and this would have been a very different story altogether.